Today on Ag Katera, I talk with the McCurry family over how their fair has changed due to COVID. Learn the changes Sedgwick County has taken to have the kids still participate amongst the global crisis. Next, meet this week's young leader in Ag Katera Kemp, former Miss Rodeo Kansas and alumni of Fort Hays State University. Then I bring you our new segment, Tell Me Something Good Ag Edition. Then Tryon Wickersham, Ruminant Nutritionist from Texas A&M University, talks about the benefits of having beef in your diet. Finally, curious about Coronavirus Food Assistance Program or CFAP? I talk with Sean Rafferty, Chief Executive Director of the Farm Service Agency for Harvey and Sedgwick County, about CFAP eligibility, their office COVID regulations, and most importantly, when producers will get their payment. It's all coming up on Ag Katera. Stay tuned.
These days, no one can afford to take the risk of being without financial protection against high health care costs, not even for a few days. Kansas Farm Bureau health plans offer short-term health care coverage to fill in those temporary gaps. Short-term health plans can provide you with medical coverage when you are between health plans, helping lower your potential financial risk. Learn more at kfbhealthplans.com or contact a Farm Bureau financial services agent near you.
Okay, looks like it's time for our tour. Welcome to the Fort Wallace Museum. Here at the museum, you're going to find some really interesting stuff like our replica stagecoach from the Butterfield Overland Dispatch. We've got facades from the fort buildings. We've got an 1870s flag. There's a plesiosaur that was discovered locally. We've got the Ray pump organ collection. We're a little bitty place with a great big story, and we'd love to have you.
I'm Bob Swartz, and I've devoted the last 43 years to helping Kansans reach their retirement goals and to protect the family farm. At Bob Swartz Financial, we believe everyone should be able to live the retirement they've always dreamed of. Our team of professionals can help you create an efficient strategy using a variety of investment vehicles to help you address your financial needs and your concerns. Bob Swartz Financial values, commitment, and transparency.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture. To join today or for more information, go to kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
Welcome back to Ag AM in Kansas. I'm Britton Rucker, and today I'm with the McCurry family learning about how their fair has changed due to COVID. COVID has turned life upside down and caused multiple events to be canceled. Longtime 4-H'ers, the McCurrys, kept their county fair in the back of their minds.
When we started looking at buying animals in March, we didn't know what was going to happen. That's when the pandemic kind of began and people became alarmed, and we questioned with our extension agent, should we buy pigs? Should we get goats? How are we going to tag? Because the extension office was closed and we couldn't get in to even get our tags to tag our animals if we were going to buy some or get some ready. So without being able to do that, we were really in question of whether this was going to happen or not, a show season was going to happen. And then in early May, we had an announcement that the Sedgwick County Fair was canceled. And it was the first one that I knew of in the state to have, to be canceled like that. So it was very disappointing. I know our fair board was considering that option, but we didn't really think it was going to happen. We just kind of hoped and prayed that it wouldn't come to that.
And even though McCurry's knew the fair board canceled their fair, they still held out hope to put on a livestock show in creative ways.
So our kids had animals they had been working with, and we had made that financial investment. What was going to happen next? So we had neighbors and friends and fellow 4-H club members and FFA leaders ask how we could make it happen. Maybe we hosted the goat show at our farm. Maybe the sheep show was at someone else's in the county. And we had a jackpot type show, a spring show that was only limited to one species, and we just hosted it on our own. But then what about the premium part? What about the sale part? What about doing it virtually? That was being discussed, I think, in a lot of fairs around the state as well. And it was trickling down. Our fair being canceled had a trickle-down effect. Other discussions were being had in counties and extension offices about what their fairs were going to be like.
But then there was a change of events. The Sedgwick County Livestock Sale Committee came together and notified families that there will be, in fact, an in-person livestock show and premium sale.
Now we have a plan in place. We're pretty excited about it. It's still going to be at our fairgrounds in Cheney, and it's going to be a 1.5 day show where now kids will come in like a spring fair, like a jackpot show format, and we'll get there at a certain time, check in, weigh in, show, stay on the trailer. We won't put down bedding in the barn, and so therefore not be in a confined space. We'll be open air, outdoors, at our trailer with our own food and drink. We're bringing our own, ice chest. There won't be a food vendor or anything to do entertainment-wise at our fairgrounds. It'll just be for the show and the livestock kids. So we'll come in and show, and then we'll leave. We'll put the animals back on our trailers and go home. And then there's going to be a Saturday night premium auction format in live format. So we're excited about that. I wasn't sure that was going to happen, and we're still going to prepare for it, something to be virtual, and if we need it to be. So the extension agents are asking, and the sale committee is asking that we still go ahead and video a clip of our kids showing at home with their animal, so that they have to do something virtual instead of the in-person show, that they can put that together.
And even though the McCurry's fair has changed, they're still looking forward to what's ahead.
It seems like it's going to be cool because it's all about the livestock, but at the same time, it's going to be strange because normally we'd finish showing, finish round robin on a Friday night, and then go ride rides for a long time, and then go check on the goats or check on the pigs. So now it's just going to be like we go, we show, and then we leave.
It's kind of fun just sitting there some of the days, just relaxing, being there, being in a different environment with all the other people that you know, and you don't get to see that often. But yeah, I'm bummed out on how the schedule is, but I'm still glad we get to have it overall.
For Ag A&M Kansas, I'm Brayton Rucker.
Kansas Corn reminds you that E15 fuel is the right choice for every kind of driver. For the car enthusiast, E15 has higher octane. For the thrifty driver, E15 is priced lower than regular unleaded. For the nature lover, E15 provides cleaner air. For the shopper who buys local, E15 has more ethanol from our Kansas corn farms. Choose E15 for a higher octane, lower price, cleaner American fuel. Message from the Kansas Corn Commission. Learn more at kscorn.com.
No one plans to get sick or injured. But when life happens, it's important you and your family are protected. Kansas Farm Bureau health plans are there to provide continued health care coverage to meet your needs. Choose from a broad range of individual and family plans. And if you're over 65, we have options for you too. Learn more at kfbhealthplans.com or contact a Farm Bureau Financial Services agent near you.
What if U.S. soybean meal were more than a commodity? If seed companies and the soybean checkoff built a better variety? That future is here. The time is now. To meet end-user demands, the Soybean Checkoff is investing in the compositional quality of soybeans, including meal. A message from the Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers.
This segment brought to you by Farm Credit Associations of Kansas, lending support to rural America, and by American Ag Service, your DuPont Pioneer dealer.
Welcome back to Ag A&M Kansas. Next, we talk with this week's Young Leader in Ag, Katera Kemp.
My ag backgrounds really grew from just being involved in 4-H growing up and into high school, and then I got really involved with our high school FFA chapter in high school, and then also our senior class was able to do on-the-job trainings around the community. And I picked mine at a local commodities office in town, and I think that really kind of shaped my future career path leading into college and where I wanted to go. So I actually started at Colby Community College. I'm from Colby, and so it just made sense to start at a community college. And then I really love Western Kansas and knew I wanted to be in Western Kansas for the rest of my life, so I didn't want to venture too far from home, I guess. But Fort Hays had an awesome agriculture department as well, and so I felt really comfortable going there to finish my degree.
And in midst of being a busy college student, she's got to take part in a very unique opportunity as being Miss Rodeo Kansas.
It kind of happened between when I was at Colby Community College and Fort Hays. I ended up taking a semester off to fulfill my duties as Miss Rodeo Kansas. which I loved because, Miss Rodeo Kansas, it provided me many opportunities to, advocate for the Western way of life and agriculture and that kind of stuff, so it kind of all fell in together. So as Miss Rodeo Kansas, I was able to travel over 30,000 miles all over the country, just pretty much promoting rodeo, the Western way of life, as well as agriculture.
And along with being Miss Rodeo Kansas, she's got to intern with Farm Credit, where she has a full-time position now.
I actually did an internship with Farm Credit of Western Kansas after I graduated from college. They kind of opened up an internship position for me for the summer, and so I did that, and they actually ended up hiring me on full-time after the completion of that internship, so it worked out really well. I've been here for about 4 years full-time now. So I was hired on as a credit analyst as well as a fieldman doing chattel appraisals, and I'm kind of working my way into a loan officer position now. So I really love Farm Credit just because, they truly have some of the best borrowers and stockholders out there, and it's not about your job or your career necessarily. It's about making the best decisions for your borrowers and your producers and trying to help them be the best that they can be. And I think I really value that about Farm Credit and just kind of the values that they stand by with that.
And for prospective young leaders in ag, she has some advice.
Obviously, I think college is super important, and it really provides you with the theories of all different kinds of things and leads you in the path that you want to be for whatever career you choose. But I truly think that, there's no comparison to what you can get out in the industry and your industry experience. And I think finding people in the industry who have been successful to mentor you and provide you with information and try to help you along your way as you're starting out is super important. I've been really blessed to have amazing mentors right out of college who've kind of led me to where I am today. And so I think finding someone that, and no matter what part of the industry you actually end up in, they're everywhere, but finding someone that you can kind of bounce ideas off of and get their knowledge, I think is super important.
At Farm Credit, we partner with America's farmers who work hard each and every day to grow the food that we all enjoy. It's not an easy task, but it's an important one. Farm Credit is proud to work with farmers and ranchers, lending support in rural America.
Sure Crop Fertilizers was started by my father, Don Sherman, and my mother, Shirley Sherman. Family business that started in the 80s. We predominantly focus on plant nutrients and what we can do to give growers better responses with the fertilizer dollars that they do, and what we can do to make those things work better for the grower. We're based out of Seneca, Kansas. We work with growers in their soil analysis to figure out what they need, and then we can put those in a blend that gives them the best results, and so that we can deliver that direct to their farm so that they have those nutrients where they need them, when they need them, and so that they can apply them in a manner that's very efficient to them and works well on their planting systems and what they're doing. Sure Crop Fertilizers has been around for a long time. We always say we're big enough to take care of everything you need, but we're small enough to do it quickly. You can get a hold of us at 1-800-635-4743. Our website is surecropfertilizers.com, and you can always email me at Corey@surecropfertilizers.com, and with any questions you have, we'll be glad to answer it and work with you.
This segment brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers.
I'm Britton Rucker, and welcome back to Ag A&M in Kansas. And in midst of the global pandemic and all the uncertainty happening in the world, we want to bring you some positivity in the ag world. Welcome to our new segment called Tell Me Something Good. First up, Farm Rescue is now helping Kansas farmers in need, offering free harvest help. The Midwestern nonprofit expanded with a donation from Busch Beer. The company marked the occasion with a limited edition Busch Light corn cans. For each pack of beer purchased in certain states like Kansas, $1 will be donated by Busch up to $100,000. Harvest assistance is offered to farm families experiencing major illness, injury, or natural disaster. Kansas is the first new state to be added to the Farm Rescue Support Network since 2017 and will be the 7th state supported overall. Bill Gross, president of Farm Rescue, said, "We are very grateful for the unwavering support Bush has provided towards our mission of helping American farmers. Thanks to their generosity, we are mobilizing equipment and volunteers throughout Kansas to help farm families in time of crisis." Next up, Kansas schools will benefit from a new beef initiative. When Ellsworth County, Kansas beef producer Michelle Brooks presented the idea of working with local beef producers to offer more beef on the school lunch tray to her fellow school board members, the reception was resoundingly positive. After gaining local support, Brooks contacted the Kansas Department of Education's Farm to School program, where the effort was also met with support. Brooks said the program was easy to get started because of the number of producers and families excited to be part of it. The donation process is simple. Producers donate and transport the live animals to local processing plants. The school district is responsible for informing the processor of which cuts to provide, typically hamburger and roast. The district pays for processing and transports the meat to school freezers. Brooks said, "For us, the biggest thing was being able to give our district's kids the highest quality of protein." The program is new to the Central Plains School District, but it's being implemented throughout the state. In addition to local efforts led by Brooks, the Kansas Beef Council and the Kansas Corn Commission partner annually with Kansas high schools and middle school food classes to buy beef used in classes and teaching lab. The program reimburses teachers for using beef in class. Last year, more than 15,000 students at roughly 116 schools were impacted by the program. For those interested in donating beef to their local schools, the Beef Council can help. To learn more about beef nutrition, including lean cuts of beef and emerging human nutrition research, visit kansasbeef.org. I'm Britton Rucker, and this has been Tell Me Something Good here on Ag AM in Kansas. We'll be back with more.
Highways 40, 83, and I-70 come together right here in Oakley. Roads that lead to businesses, to magnificent rock formations, to scenic vistas, to places where legends were made. Roads that lead us home. Discover Oakley, the gateway to western Kansas.
The Kansas Wheat Innovation Center in Manhattan is rediscovering ways to get improved varieties and new genetics in the hands of farmers faster. Grower-led and checkoff-funded research initiatives are bringing about positive change. This grassroots leadership provides a strong voice in Topeka and Washington, D.C. Now is the time to partner with Kansas Wheat in moving wheat forward. Kansas Wheat Commission and Kansas Association of Wheat Growers. Farmers investing in their future and yours. Log on to rediscoverwheat.org.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Wheat. Learn more at rediscoverwheat.org.
Welcome back to Ag AM in Kansas. Next up, we hear from Tryon Wickersham, Ruminant Nutritionist from Texas A&M University, about the benefits of having beef in your diet.
All living things need specific amino acids, but people can't synthesize all of them. No worries. Cattle provide them by upcycling proteins from rough forage into nutritious beef.
If you try and consume all of your amino acids or meet your amino acid requirements from a grain source, like corn or sorghum, you're going to have to overconsume calories, and so that'll contribute to obesity and those types of problems.
Enjoying those amino acids within the nutrient density of beef delivers more than a healthy diet.
If we really want to look at pulling people out of poverty, one of the best things we can do is feed them well so they can get better education and then go contribute to their societies. And a challenge we have is in a lot of countries we have access to sufficient number of calories. There's ample calories available for the people, but calories don't really allow people or toddlers to grow and develop properly.
Research shows U.S. produced beef cattle contribute more of the proteins we need than they consume. And that kind of efficiency is good for the planet.
The U.S. is really efficient at producing beef. And the demand for beef is more global now than it ever has been. And so if we just said we're done. We're done producing beef. We don't like the cost of it being produced in the United States. People are still going to demand the beef, and we might produce it somewhere else where we don't have the same controls over how the animals are produced. We can't assure product quality and safety, and might actually produce more negative effects on the environment across the globe.
Quality also plays a part in sustainability, providing the beef people want with greater efficiency.
We do know that producing those higher quality products positively contribute to the economic sustainability of the beef industry, as well as helping consumers from a social standpoint get the products they actually desire and want to consume and enjoy consuming. So I think on those two fronts, you're definitely benefiting sustainability from a social and then from an economic.
Protein upcycling goes beyond nutrition. It's an economic and sustainability benefit cattlemen can be proud of. I'm Bob Cervera.
Welcome to the Western Kansas Wildlife Travel Center, right here in my hometown of Oakley, Kansas. We're the front door of Western Kansas, located on 3 main highways, I-70, US 83, and US 40. And all those roads lead to history, beautiful scenery, and adventure, no matter which direction you go. We now have an IHOP. That brand that you've trusted up and down the road in all your travels is staffed with local folks, real people, just like you and me, and we're waiting on you to join us. So for fun, adventure, fuel up, fuel your body, and let's have some fun.
Kansas Corn reminds you that E15 fuel is the right choice for every kind of driver. For the car enthusiast, E15 has higher octane. For the thrifty driver, E15 is priced lower than regular unleaded. For the nature lover, E15 provides cleaner air. For the shopper who buys local, E15 has more ethanol from our Kansas corn farms. Choose E15 for a higher octane, lower price, cleaner American fuel. Message from the Kansas Corn Commission. Learn more at kscorn.com.
This segment brought to you by Santa Fe Trail Meats in Overbrook. Let us help feed your family.
I'm Britton Rucker, and this is Ag A&M Kansas. The United States Department of Agriculture has announced further details about the Corona Food Assistance Program, or more known as CFAP, which will provide $16 billion in direct economic relief payments to farmers and ranchers suffering the market impacts of COVID-19 pandemic. With me now is Sean Rafferty, Chief Executive Director of the Farm Service Agency for Harvey and Sedgwick County. Welcome, Sean.
Hey, good afternoon. Thanks for reaching out to me today.
Sean, who is all eligible for CFAP?
Well, this is the one time where I'm going to say there's a whole lot more people eligible for a CFAP than we've had in the past. Pretty much, we're going to look at a couple different categories, but anybody who has ownership in grain, where they still owned it as of January 15th of 2020. And pretty much any of our main livestock producers are going to be eligible to apply as well.
So what is the overview of dates of livestock eligibility for CFAP?
Well, there's a couple different criteria on dates, and one of the easiest places for producers to find these dates, in case they're not able to write them down right now, is if they go to farmers.gov/CFAP. And then when they hop into that particular website, they can go over on the bottom right-hand side, which is still on the first page, and they can click on a big bar that says livestock. And so there's two different categories that we're paying on. The first one is going to take place where they had sold livestock. I believe it's from January. Let me get the dates exactly right here. From January 15th through April 15th, there's going to be a column there for any livestock that was sold. And of course, there's a little bit of breakdown based upon weights in a couple different categories. It's on the form, it's very easy. And then the second set of dates is the total inventory of livestock they still had on hand from April 16th to May 14th. Now, the beautiful thing about that website is if they go there and they click on these links, there's actually a calculator that walks them through this process. And when they complete the calculator, it will actually generate the numbers and put them on a form. All they would have to do is take that form, put a signature on it, pop it in the mail, and then we'll get to cracking on trying to get these suckers paid as fast as we can. But we're still kind of dealing with some situations on staffing, but we're working through them at a very fast rate.
Now that is the same on the crop producer side as well.
That is the same thing on the crop side. Now there's a different date. They're looking at ownership on crops as of January the 15th. There's a column there where we're going to just put in the total bushels of what you owned. There's a little bit of a limitation because it can't be any more than 50% of your total 2019 production. But once again, just the key is here is did they still own it as of January 15th? Now, some of the producers may be wondering, well, what kind of numbers do we put in there? This is the easiest program I've seen in 20 years. It's a straight certification. You tell us your bushels, you tell us your livestock numbers, you sign and date, put it in the mail, and then magic is going to happen, hopefully.
Now, how is the FSA handling the sign up of CFAP with all these COVID restrictions?
Okay, so that's a really big challenge for us right now, and that's why early on I recommended that our producers go to the farmers.gov webpage. So far, I'm seeing a very positive response from those producers who are going through and at least trying the web application process. Any producer nationwide can call their local FSA office and have them either email them a form directly. If that doesn't work, we are able to mail some of those forms out. Those forms are going to take a little more time to get through to producers, but I can tell you on day one, I was hanging out over the hood of a pickup. We had our social distancing. We have that option as well. There's limited staffing in the office, but there is somebody there somewhere that can help you get the application done. We'll do it by the phone, but if eyeball to eyeball, safe distancing, we can do that as well.
Absolutely. Now, Sean, most important question, and I'm sure most producers are wondering this themselves, how soon is the turnaround of these payments to producers?
Okay, so the payment turnaround is going to vary from county to county because that is what's dictating how many employees we can get into the office to process the applications. I would like to say that I will start getting payments out the door to producers as early as maybe the end of this week or early next week. It's going to vary from location to location. Once we get our basic approval authority granted to us, I'm hoping the process will go very fast. So the answer is as fast as we can get them to you.
Absolutely. Well, Sean, thank you so much for being on the program.
Thank you for having me, and call back anytime.
Thanks for watching Ag Etc. As always, I'm Britton Rucker, and I'll see you next week here on Ag AM in Kansas.
Watch Ag AM in Kansas online at agamandkansas.com.